we're going to add to our key signatures booklet very quickly. And it's important to say here that I'm giving you an overview of all of these things, but you have to work on applying them with your teacher and on your own, in your lesson and in your home practice. You really have to think about these things, but the more that you do it, the easier your practicing gets. Then your teacher can give you a piece of sheet music and you can go home and you can rough that out on your own. And then you can work on making it so musical and beautiful and stylistically appropriate in your lesson. So let's add a little bit to this key signature booklet. You see I have it open and we left this side blank on purpose. Here's what we're going to write in there. We're going to give ourselves instructions for how to use a key signature to figure out which notes to play in any given piece. There are 4 things that we're going to do. So we need 4 things written here. So you're going to want to space it out the way that I do it. Okay. I've decided to switch to color for this. Okay. The very first thing that you do when you get a new piece, you look at the key signature. It's right in the beginning between the clef and the time signature. You look at that. And the first thing that you do is you name which sharps you see in order. That's very important. That's why I gave you the sentence. I hope you memorized it. I quiz my students on this routinely. Okay, so let's write a little note to ourselves. I'm putting a little asterisk. You make an X and a cross, and then you have a nice little bullet point to write something next to. The very first thing you do when you look at the key signature, you name the sharps in order. Okay, name the sharps, S-H-A-R-P-S, in order. I underlined it. It's so important. Sometimes I'll ask a student what sharps they see, and they'll go from the bottom to the top or the top to the bottom, and I say, no, fail. I actually say that. But then I get nicer, I promise. And I say, well, let's go from left to right. What's the one to the left? Then what's after that? What's after that? Make sure you go in order. Okay, changing colors. The next step, and this is why that first step is so important, is you find the furthest sharp to the right. I'm going to make that sentence a little bit shorter by taking out the word sharp because you already know that that's what you're looking at. So find, F-I-N-D, the furthest. That means the one that's the most, furthest, F-U-R-T-H-E-S-T, to the right. Let's play with that for 1 second. I'm going to use a little piece of scratch paper before it gets recycled. All right, let's say that you have a key signature with 1 sharp. What's the furthest one to the right? There's only one, it's got to be an F. What if it has 2 sharps? The furthest one to the right? That's a C. What if you have 3 sharps? What's the furthest one to the right? I didn't hear you. Say it louder. It's a G. All right, so you get the idea. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Put another little asterisk. Next step, we're almost there. You go up 1/2 step. Write it down, then we'll play with it. Go up 1/2, H-A-L-F, step. Okay, we're going to play with that in a moment, but we're going to write the last thing first. Go on for my last color. 1 more asterisk. And then you compare your answer to the last note. Compare, C-O-M-P-A-R-E, to last note. Let's play with it for a second. I've pulled out Seesaw again. It's the first piece that my students play. They don't know key signatures at this point, but I'm using this one because it's a very simple piece and it illustrates the way that you can use this method. Okay, step 1, name the sharps in order. What's in this key signature? I see 3 sharps. I'm going from left to right. I can think of my sentence or I can identify them because I know how to read the sharps. That first one is F, That one is C, that one is G. Fat cats go. All right. So now I've identified them and I said them in order. I didn't say F, G, and C. That won't give me the right answer. Okay, so I said F, C, G. That is how they are written from left to right. Okay, now, which one of those, because now the next step is to find the furthest one to the right. Which one is the one that's all the way to the right? It's a G sharp. Super. Now I'm on the right path. All right. What is a half step up? I'm supposed to go up a half step. Well, what's up a half step from G sharp? Maybe I don't just remember that off the top of my head. That's why I have this out. So I'm going to pull out my little half step marking. I'm going to make sure that this one is pointing to G sharp. What's the next one pointing to? To an A. Oh my goodness, I think this piece must be in the key of A major. We'll talk major and minor another time, but for now, we're doing major. All right, last step. Compare to last note. What note is at the end of the piece? F, A, C, E. Oh my gosh, it's an A. I decided the piece was in the key of A, and the last note is an A. Oh my gosh, I must have gotten the right answer. When you compare to the last note, it tells you whether you did your other analysis correctly. Okay, we have one more thing to do to really be able to use your key signatures. We already talked about how to use the sharp key signatures. The flat key signatures, it's very similar, but there's a slight difference in how you name the key signature. So you still are going to name the flats in order. We always name things in order. So let's write that down first. Give yourself a little asterisk and then write name the flats in order and underline it. It's super important that you go in order. Okay, now with sharps, I told you find the furthest sharp to the right. With flats, let's give yourself a little asterisk here. You're going to find the flat that's second from the right. So find flat second from right. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. I'm going to use a little piece of paper to cover some things up here. Let's say that I have a key signature that has two flats in it, 1, 2. I'm trying to find the one that's second from the right. Well, the E is all the way to the right, so second from the right is B. So that would mean I'm in the key of B flat if we're looking at a major key. What if there were 3 flats? I have a B flat, an E flat, and an A flat. What's the second from the right? The E flat is. So with flats, you're finding the last one and you're going back one. That's the second from the right. And that is how you name the key signature. All right. And then there's actually only one step after that. There's no going up a half step like there was in the sharp key signatures. That final step is the same as with sharp key signatures. You compare to the last note. Okay, so now you have a solid overview of how to look at a key signature. We've talked a little bit about how to apply it, but of course you and your teacher are going to practice that in your lessons. For now, we can close everything up here. Make sure all your books are tucked in. And you've made all of the things we're going to make in this theory book. Can you even believe it? But now you have a pretty solid understanding of how to apply your music theory. You have a really nice foundation for understanding some complicated stuff going forward. I will see you in the next series.